So let's get to some jokes before we get to the jokes, okay? I don't know if you saw at the Value Voters Summit, Sarah Palin gave a speech where she referred to the White House as being 1400 Pennsylvania Avenue. Now, Palin saying the White House is located at 1400 Pennsylvania Avenue was an honest mistake that any total fucking moron could make. All right, let's remember that, And by the way, I've been appearing at a lot of conventions devoted to fantasy and horror. So why wasn't I invited to the Voters Value Summit? Hey, by the way, I don't know if you heard George Clooney got married.
What?
And George Clooney got married, and I hope his marriage opens a new chapter in his life that, when things finally start going his way. I have fingers crossed for George, huh? Maybe I could join his liberal cabal. Hey, by the way, did you hear that Politico, the online news source Politico, they asked a bunch of astrologers to weigh in on the new Clinton baby. And, astrologers polled by Politico about the Clinton baby were credible because they all once predicted the death of real journalism. And by the way, the Supreme Court, they're taking up a lot of cases, and, it falls on the Supreme Court to fix our worst problems in America, namely gay people marrying, poor people voting, and rich people not having enough money. Hope they can fix it. Did you see Fox News? They interviewed George Bush this week. Fox News in the morning, they interviewed George Bush, and they lauded him, not kidding, they lauded him for his handling of Iraq. Wow. And they then went on to praise Ray Rice for his mastery of elevator etiquette. Elevator etiquette. Hey, did you hear Ted Nugent wrote another article about Ferguson?
He can write?
He can write. Ted Nugent writing an article slamming black Ferguson citizens, which he did. It's a case of the unarmed being attacked by the untalented.
You really want to hurt those people? Play a concert.
I don't know. People say he plays a good guitar. I think he might be a talented guitar player. I don't know much about music, but Mike McRae swears he's a great guitar player. So I'll give it to Mike McRae. But
Hitler was a great vegetarian.
That's what I heard.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, by the way, did you hear the Secret Service in a lot of trouble?
Oh.
Ouch.
They got an intruder, got all the way in, right? He hopped the fence, had a knife, got all the way through the front door, up the White House intruder, though. It's kind of like he's kind of like George W. Bush in that he managed to get inside the building without being elected.
I think that guy thought he was at 1400 Pennsylvania.
You're probably right. In their defense, the Secret Service has lately been good at keeping progressive, peaceful ideas out of the White House. So, hey, but the Secret Service say that they're really taking this seriously and they're reorganizing and they're going to update their database. And right now they're looking into reports of threats against President McKinley. McKinley. By the way, the Secret Service director who just resigned, she's going to now focus on not protecting people in the private sector. By the way, we got Ebola came to America this week. Ebola's in America, and there's an Ebola patient being treated in Dallas. Mm-hmm. And luckily, I can't imagine any kind of national tragedy ever happening in Dallas.
For the record, Jimmy, I am anti-Ebola.
Oh, that's a great record.
Thank you.
I love that. By the way, Ebola in Texas should scare us because the last virus that spread from there was called George W. Bush, and it killed thousands.